Hello and welcome, everybody. It's been a little bit of a wait, but we are back with another match in Alpha Semi-Pro. It's been a long season building up to this point, but we are standing at the base of the mountain. Okay, we've done the trek, we've gotten there, and from here on out, it's win or go home. We're going to see who climbs that mountain and stands atop as another champion of Alpha Semi-Pro. Right now, we're looking at a quarter-final match. I'm Revolt, captain of Ris3n Competitive. Let's get right on into things. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, representing Nova Accelerated, the Yellow Zerg player. It is 2Meows. His opponent, up in the top left-hand corner here on Romanticide, representing Ris3n Competitive, the Australian Terran. It is Foz. So taking a look at things, now that we've done all of our interludes, intros, and all of that, it appears as though we're seeing fairly standard stuff coming out of both these guys to start this series off. You know, it really is a little bit different playing in a playoff match, even than versus a regular like team league match. The added pressure when it's win or go home, you know, during the season, obviously there's always the pressure, the impetus to win, that drive, that desire to represent your team well. All of that gets escalated in the playoffs when, you know, a single loss, a single win, both of those things mean so much more. You really know that both these guys are going to be choosing their builds wisely, you know, playing out, not just kind of throwing a build order out there and seeing what sticks, but kind of thinking it out what they want to do and preparing a build that they think will give them the best chance of success. And hopefully, in this best of 5, that will lead us to a few good games. Reaper on the way out here for Foz after the SCV scout, just to make sure that there's no roaches or anything crazy like that. And the Reaper dance begins. Let's see what he can get done here. Might get a Zergling. Oh. Nope. Doesn't get a Zergling. Pretty standard overall. Oh, needs to be careful with the Reaper. Both players kind of making sure each other are on their toes there a little bit, but both of them are nothing lost. A typical Reaper poke, not going to get much damage done, just kind of testing the waters. Keeping an eye on the timing of that third base. Oh, did he see the lair? Pops in, sees that quick lair. Again, I didn't even notice. He stayed in gas. And the lair is scouted, so that's a big move there for Foz. Again, this Reaper's job, not really to get damage, but more to keep an eye on what's going on. Maybe delay this third base. The Zerglings are going to try and get us around here. Can he stop this third base from going down? It's going to be close. This Reaper has no health left. Ooh, gets picked off by the Zerglings. Takes 2 of them with it. But 2Meows not opting to throw that down. Now, again, this extremely fast lair has been scouted. But it is a third CC coming out here for Foz. Now, bear in mind... Okay, never mind. There's gas number 2. There's gases number 3 and 4. They seem a little bit late for it to be a Spire, but I guess you could still throw one down. Yep, and there it is. There's the Spire. So a 2-base Meta play here with the follow-up third base, albeit a delayed one. The Viking coming out here for Foz, going to pick off these initial, or I guess it's just this one Overlord. But really, you know, this Viking better off to eschew a Nidus play by shutting down the Vision. And of course, it is not a Nidus. But again, Foz saw that quick lair. And when a lair is gotten down that fast, it can only mean so many things. So we're going to have to see what he can get done with these Hellions. He's going to scout out the timing of this third base. Probably not going to think about diving in here with the Queens and the Zerglings. They should be able to shoo this away. Stim about halfway done. More barracks coming up in the background here for Foz. As the Grief Dreamer is going to go down, it's actually going to get sniped out right away. And these Hellions, I think, are going to make themselves a little, well, not that scarce. Spire about to complete. Let's see. It's going to be 6, 7 Mutalisks coming out here for 2 Meows. These 3 Hellions still sharking around. They might be able to dive in and get a little bit of damage done here. Let's see. Looks like that is 2 drones. Not really great damage, but in the meantime, can Foz get himself ready for this Mutalisk harass? It looks like it's going to be a Roach follow-up here, double Evo as well. We've seen builds like this become very, very popular. These Mutalisks can pin the Terran at home a little bit, keep them locked on those 2 bases, at which point the direct threat of those Roaches can be all the more dangerous here. Mutas show themselves. Might be able to get a tank for themselves right off the bat. That would be a great pick-off. Gets one in exchange for a Mutalisk. So far, though, oh, here we go. Here's the damage that he's looking for, really getting in on that SCV line. Turrets are coming up here from Foz, but they're not here yet. Here's the picture going. Yeah. I need to be more partisan. Oh, my gosh. But again, the Roach follow-up here, and so far, I think that... oh, actually, there's more. 8 SCV is going down. This is what he's looking for. I was going to say, with that initial poke, it definitely wasn't all that 2 Meows was looking for. He wants to get a little bit more done. So far, though, he's got to feel pretty happy about this. 71 workers to 44. But again, the fast third CC will allow Foz to really bounce back here. Does not want to get those fresh mules picked off. Let's see. Can he get them? 1. Only gets 1. For a Mutal. Actually, a lot of the Mutas are getting whittled down here. And at this point, if these Mutas get baited, nope. Okay, so let's see. As the dust settles, 3 Mutalisks remain. Foz has gotten that 3rd base down on location. Another Muta goes down. It looks like he should be able to deal with this Viking. Will he get another Mutalisk for it? The micro battle begins. At this point, the Mutalisk threat has been very much dealt with, and Foz knows this. He's powering up these 3 bases. More barracks coming down. 1-1 on the way, but again, this isn't the long-term game plan here for 2 Meows. That Mutalisk's play was a tactical one designed to kind of get himself a little bit of breathing room as these upgrades come out, this huge swell of Roaches come out. Now, Foz is coming across the map, maybe thinking that, you know, Ling Bane might be coming out, but a little bit delayed. And what he's going to find is a big, big ball of Roach Ravager there to greet him. I think his best bet here is to go for the 4th base. We'll have to see what he opts for here. Definitely needs to get sieged up here and fast. And make sure he doesn't get hit by those biles. Here comes, well, actually, 2 Meows. Not really wanting to commit into these tanks just yet. Here we go, though. There go the biles, but Foz is stimming in. These super valuable Ravagers are going down so fast. It looks like with this drone pool, Foz will be forced backwards. And this tank will be forfeit. 2 Meows holds on, and he holds onto the 4th base, but at a decently expensive cost. You know, those Ravagers are effectively the cost of a Mutalisk. And we saw a decent number of those bite the dust here. A little bit of a counterattack coming in from 2 Meows. I'm not sure how I feel about this. Unless Foz has everything loaded up in Medivacs, if that's the case, he could find this quite tricky. 1 tank in the background, getting some pot shots off. But actually, here comes the army of 2 Meows. And unless these biles land, which it looks like they will be dodged, all of that supply gets cleared up here from 2 Meows. And again, this is a game state that can be a little bit deceiving if we look at things just by the numbers. If we look at the supply, you would say that the Zerg is far, far ahead. And he's in a good position. But again, Roaches are super cheap and super supply dense. You are supposed to have the supply lead. If you don't, you're in big, big trouble here. So what might initially look like a very good game state for Zerg actually ends up being pretty close to even here, as these Roaches, while they're good, you can make lots of them for not a lot of money, they are not supply efficient. And as these 2 armies get closer and closer to maxed out, that could become a little bit of a problem here for a Zerg player, but he can still look for these little windows where he can try and pounce on the Terran army, and this might be one of them. This tank providing so much damage in the background. So it looks like those supplies are starting to even up. A big thing here for Foz is getting that tank count up. 3 to 5 tanks here can really, really start to shred the Roaches. 1 to 2, a little bit less of a threat here. And it looks like it's a greater Spire transition coming out for the Zerg player here. The tanks are getting sieged up. Two Meows has to hold on here. A brilliant concave on the roaches. It looks like he's going to be able to collapse onto all of this and maybe get a full clear up. This would be amazing for him, but actually looking at the supply, he's dropping behind. I guess he's got a little bit of a bank, and it looks like the bio holds strong here as now his fourth base is under fire, and these roaches are very low on HP. Forced to evacuate. Let's see what the toll is. 6, 8, 10 drones go down, and this fourth base does not look like it's long for this world. It is going to go down. Now, there's another base up north and another down at 6 o'clock. But this transition to Broodlords is not here just yet. It could be quite strong, especially if Foz is really heavy into the tank count. But right now, this is just Corruptors. Kind of a little bit of a weak bio army here, but Foz is so high up in supply. Taking a look, it's 93 army supply to 62. And considering a decent amount of that army is Corruptors, Roaches, Ravagers, not really stuff that has a lot of meat to it, this bio army could stem through it if given the opportunity. The Broodlords are not here yet. Foz is smelling blood in the water, and it looks like he's going for it here. These Zerglings, without much upgrades, are not going to pose that much of a threat, and then the tanks are going to really shred everything else on the ground. Ravagers are going down. Here come the Broodlords. They will, I think, eventually deal with this, as I don't know if there's enough Marines here, but what damage can get done in the background? One Broodlord gets taken out. Will a second? It looks like no. Not until maybe more Marines show up. But again, there's still Marauders, tanks, enough to start picking bases off. And that's all Foz needs to do here. Pick off bases, hamstring the economy, while he prepares for these Broodlords back at home. Looks like this third base is going to get picked off. If he rotates to the other side, he should be able to get the other one as well. Two tanks. Wayward Tank's going to get picked off here. That's a nice pick off there for Two Meows. But again, this base going to get taken out. And these drones, he's done a great job at keeping the drones alive. He's lost the bases. He has not lost the drone count in a big way. But at this point, there's not really any great place for these drones to go. The only base that's really available is up here. He's going to evacuate over there, immediately restarts that third base, but our Zerg player definitely on the ropes a little bit here. And behind this, you love to see it from the Terran player, not going all out on the aggression on three bases and getting a little bit tunnel visioned. Fourth base, fifth base, the things that can allow him to secure that next level of tanks, the Thors, the Ghost Academy, all on the way. Foz should absolutely be prepared to take this game to the late game in a way that a low economy Zerg is going to really struggle with. A little bit of a Zergling run by here. It looks like only 3 Zerglings make it through. They are going to provide a little bit of a distraction, though the SCVs should be able to clear it up. And Foz is not letting up on the pressure. He's going for this next base, and he's looking for the kill. Oh, he's not even, he's just going for it. He sees those Broodlords there, and I think he just wants to stim into it. There's not much here to support them. They're going to have to try and kite back. Let's see if he can hang on here in game number 1. One Broodlord goes down. And it looks like there's just too much Terran here. Infestor's coming out, not even going to get off a fungal. Greater Spire goes down. That's the end of that tech. Marines are going to stem forward, start to pick off these Broodlords. G is called, and Ris3n is going to take a 1-map advantage here in this series. Whew. Well, quite an exciting game number 1 here to start us off. I'm going to throw to overlay. We'll be back very shortly with game number 2. Keep it locked. Took a little while to get going, but this is a different matchup. This is a different matchup, boys. This here is ZVZ, the matchup where things can get crazy, and they can get crazy very quickly. So, without further ado, let's get on into it here in the bottom right-hand corner. The blue Zerg player representing NovaX, hoping to get his team on the board here. It is Ember. And up in the top left-hand corner, representing Ris3n Competitive, it is Fish. So, let's not beat around to the bush here. I spoke that this game might have a little bit more of a faster-paced start, and it appears as though that is exactly the case. Taking a look at Ember, that's a fast gas, that's a fast pool. This is going to be, I think I was introducing players, I think that was a 13-12? It certainly looks like a 13-12. Over on Fish's side, things are looking a lot more standard. Hatch, gas, pool. Now, this is going to put the impetus on Fish to be playing defense here. These 6 Zerglings, as we can see, are far, far behind any type of Zergling potential here for Fish. So the important thing here is A, seeing if he can get an eye on this with this Overlord as soon as is possible. It looks like Ember is doing it correctly. He's dodging around the Overlord pass with the Zerglings, making sure that it is as long as is possible until he gets scouted here. He has pulled out of gas after speed, meaning that in some sort of insane Baneling all-in with Lings and all that is not likely to be the case. A hatch coming down here to get placed. Seeing 2 Zerglings here now is Fish, meaning he is going to be kind of smelling the way that the wind is blowing here. 6 Zerglings on the way as this aggression begins. Immediately, these drones are pulled back up onto the high ground here. Spine starts up in the main. He's going to start banking up Zerglings, ideally wanting to keep this hatchery alive. Ember, obviously the opposite here, wants this hatchery dead and gone so he can transition into a mid-game that is far more advantageous for him. Speed almost done here for Ember. Fish doing a little bit of a dangerous dance here with some Zerglings and drones trying to keep him off this hatchery. The Queen comes out, giving Fish enough courage to take this fight here, as it looks like both these Queens are going to get pulled to the low ground to help out the Zerglings of Ember. And of course his Banelings will be faster than his opponents, but Fish has seen this off. He has kept the hatchery alive, and he should be sitting in a decent position here. Immediately, it looks like going out to take that 3rd base. 3 Banelings being built back at home. 3 Zerglings here. A Fish going in to do some scouting, seeing that there's nothing all too crazy following this up, knowing he has a little bit of space to breathe to get himself situated in this game, especially as his own Banelings are on the way. Was that a second? No, that's the first Baneling nest. I thought it started before. Maybe I was wrong. It looks like Ember is doing a little bit of a poke out here with the Zerglings, though the Banelings remaining at home, making me think that this is not any type of committal. Just wanting to see the timing of that 3rd. He's going to meet the Zerglings of Fish and the Queens. Realize that he has to turn around. We see all the gases here getting taken for Ember. So likely a Mutalisk follow-up here from our Blue Zerg. Is it? No, it shouldn't be. That should be better. Roachwarn coming out here, although there's the double gas here from Fish. Now, again, the big timer here in this game so far is A, will Fish be able to respond to the Mutalisk play? And will Ember be able to get enough done to fix the fact that his 3rd base is much later? An extra hatch in this matchup is a absolutely huge deal. More larvae, more access to mining, all of that obviously is of a tremendous importance here. And every second that goes by while one player has that advantage is going to both benefit the economy, the army, the tech, the everything. More spines coming up, preparing in case roaches try and kill him while he goes up to Mutalisks. These 2 Zerglings, now 1 Zergling, are going to get up into the main and scout the timing of that lair. I feel like that lair took a while. Did he cancel it? There's the Spire coming in. The lair not far behind here for Fish. Octomologist, that's a different player. Ember getting in, also getting a scout for himself. So both these guys keeping tabs on each other, making sure that they are informed as to what is going on. But right now, economically speaking, Fish is in a wonderful position. 53 workers to 44. Up that hatch that is just now finishing for Ember. And that there, my friends, is a Nidus Worm. Now, against the Spire play, this can be very, very, very useful at daggering him in the back. Once these Mutalisks come out, they want to be asserting themselves in maintaining map control. They want to be getting damage done, picking off the wayward drones, overlords, anything that they can catch out, they want to be doing. What they don't want to be doing is getting pinned back and being forced to defend. This Spire is just about to finish. Now, a frontward assault here, I feel like is going to be very, very difficult to pull off with all of these spine crawlers. But here we go. The Nidus Swarm finishes. It's going to be Queens and Roaches coming out here for Fish. The odd Baneling as well. And with this many Queens, 15 Mutalisks. Never mind. This many Queens cannot deal with 15 Mutalisks. That is many, many, many Mutalisks. They are actually almost here. And that means that the window here for Fish is not that large. He needs to get things done, and he needs to get them done now, as this Mutaball is going to be able to overrun the Queens, and that's going to leave him without Queens back at home. The Mutas are going to deal with the Queens. These Spines do what they're supposed to do. They hold on for as long as they can. Now these Roaches need to get drone damage, and they need to get it done soon. 3 drones, 6 drones, 10 drones, 12 going down. We need to see Spines back at home, more Queens as well. Anything that Fish can pick off while these Roaches are going to die, he needs to get done. Now, he has secured himself a pretty solid drone lead with all of this. And he's going to have a minute here before Ember can really get across and start threatening him. He needs to make the most of that. We need to see Spores. Where are they? So far, they're not anywhere. I don't know if he thought he made them, but here we go. 2, 3, 4. 4 Spores on the way, but they're not here yet, meaning these Queens are going to have to try and hold against this flow of Lings and Mutas. It's going to be tight here for him. He's going to start targeting down the Queens. The Spores aren't done yet. Now, these Queens might be able to buy enough time for these Spores to finish that will allow him to have at least an anchor point of the defense, but 7 Hydras on the way. This is so many Mutalisks. Going to start killing Overlords as well. Might even be able to find an angle to start killing this hatchery. This Mutalisk play paying dividends here for Ember. So it looks like he is going to get forced back as these Hydras come out. It's going to be tight if he can get this hatchery or not. There's a transfuse going down. He goes back in. Hatchery goes down. Only trades it out for 1 or 2 of those Mutalisks. That's a great play there by Ember, as this game is getting tighter and tighter as the moments go on. Nidus going down in the main is going to pull the Mutalisks back, but they will be able to deal with it before anything unloads or anything dangerous comes out. And with that base going down, Fish needs to bide his time, make sure he can get this base up, and build up that Hydra count so he can actually engage these Mutalisks. Now, these Nidus Worms are going to allow him to kind of keep the Mutas on their half of the map. As here we go. More Queens, more Roaches, more Hydralisks coming out. Fish is getting caught out a little bit here. Not all of these units are firing right at first, and that's a nice few initial pickoffs there for Ember. This is still a lot of Queens and a lot of Hydras, so there's a lot of DPS there. And remember, Mutalisks are very, very squishy. He's taking these engagements very well, though, avoiding kind of these initial Hydras by getting some pickoffs. Let's see. It looks like he's going to be able to clean it up. GG is called. Ember evens things up. All right, everybody, we are back here. Game number 3. Right now we are tied 1-1, making this essentially a best of 3 from here on out. If either team wins the next 2 maps, or if we go 1-1, we will go to an ace match where any of the players can play to see who goes on to the semifinals. But right now, all that matters is what we got here in front of us in the top right-hand corner. The green Zerg player representing Ris3n Competitive. It is Steven. And spawning down in the bottom left-hand corner, the teal Protoss player representing Nova Accelerated. It is Octomologist. Whew. That last game was a real nail-biter. You gotta say, ZVZ, such a fun matchup when it's played by such high-level players. But now we got a little bit of a change of place. ZVP, a matchup that's gone through a lot of variation over the recent patch. I know a lot of Zerg players aren't terribly happy with it. But there have been, I know, a few dirty cheeses that have risen up with the meta shifting as it does, but we're going to be looking for the fast air plays. We're going to be looking for maybe usages of the Void Rays. We'll have to see what comes out. Right now, Ophthalmologist and Steven both doing very, very normal things. 2 in gas here for Steven. Really wants to focus on that minerals, getting as many drones as possible. And that is a very Steven thing to do. Drones, 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 and more drones. How many drones do you have? The answer is almost always not enough drones. Cybercore coming down, second gas as well, and we're going to be looking for that first tech building of the Protoss that will inform us a little bit more about what his build is going to look like. Third base coming down at 2 minutes. Wowzers. That's a fast third base. Still 2 in gas, pulling one out as soon as he's got enough to get speed. Warp gate starts, so it's not going to be the fastest Stargate possible, if, in fact, it is a Stargate, but we'll have to see. Twilight still very much an option. Robo still very much an option. It is going to be the Stargate, though. Steven keeping tabs on the Nexus, but not really going to see anything that shocks him, I don't think. Likely to be an Oracle first coming out here from Ophthalmologist. Obviously gives you that flexibility in, helping you secure a third base and letting you put a little bit of aggression on. Great for scouting throughout the game. But, oh, he got a Lingen. Oh, okay, I missed that. Okay, that is huge. That is huge, because not only does he get the scout, but he gets the scout without having to fully commit an Overlord in. He can pull those rest of those Overlords back. That is not a safe zone there, my dude. Rest in peace, Overlord. But still going to be aware that this Oracle is coming and going to be operating at full information. Always, always, always super important for the Zerg player. A little bit of a supply block hitting him as that Overlord goes down. But I'm really excited to see what comes out after this Oracle. 2 Oracle into nothing, 2 Oracle into Void Ray, 1 Oracle into Void Ray, all different variations of what's possible. It looks like it is going to be the second Oracle here. Looks like Ris3n has joined the chat and says, "Hen-lo." Believe that is supposed to be hello. So hello to you too, Ris3n. 16 Zerglings coming out here. Steven keeping an eye on that third base. Wants to make sure it does not get down, and certainly does not get down on time. These Queens here to zone out the Void Ray as it's looking for any type of damage it can get done. 2 Adepts going to try and help secure this. Oracle retreating home as well could help him make sure this third base goes down, and it goes down when he wants it to. Robo for the Protoss, Roach Warren for the Zerg as we likely approach what is going to be the mid-game. Here come the Zerglings, so they're going to look for any type of wraparound they can get on these Adepts. It looks like one of them is going to get picked off. There are 4 in total. Not really the best positioning there for the Zerglings, as Steven knows he is going to have to back off. Can't take that fight. Stalker on the wall. A little bit of damage there, picking up those rallying probes. Nice little pick off for him. But ultimately, nothing too catastrophic. As it does not look like we're seeing an air commitment here from Ophthalmologist. Just a kind of old school, more standard double Oracle. Lets you keep the pressure on. Lets you look for wayward units, get some pickoffs going, but no crazy commitment to air units outside of that. As it looks like we have the Immortal out of the Robo coming up, more gateways, and a more standard and traditional Protoss style. These 2 Oracles. Oh, actually one of them does get picked off here. More Immortals, more Sentries coming up in the background as well. Steven really laying into the drones at this point. Going up to that nice point of about 70. Getting that 4th base up, securing himself for the next stage of this game. Baneling speed, roach speed, +1 melee, all the things you want. Looks like Ophthalmologist, though, going to be looking to do a little bit of a push out here. Will get seen by this Overseer. He's going to see all of these sentries and actually pull them away from the bulk of the army. Really like these stasis wards, setting them up in the direction that he wants to be defending from. Steven doesn't have a lot of army on the field right now, and that could mean that this 4th base might just be forfeit here, as without the numbers to be able to pick it off, he is going to be in a little bit of trouble here. Here comes Ophthalmologist. Really going for the throat here. Great force field's going to stop the Banelings. And with all these Stalkers, he might just have too much here. What looked like a push out that could kill the 4th might be looking... Everybody, I apologize for some of the issues going on. They should be sorted now. So, fingers crossed. But again, apologize for any disruptions there. But we are at 2-1 in favor of NovaX, going in to what could be our final match. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, the blue Terran player representing Ris3n Competitive. It is Coda. And spawning up in the top right-hand corner, the red Protoss. Representing NovaX, it is Bonkers. It all could come down to this. Again, Coda needs to win this match to put us into the ace match. That's a thing. That's a thing. That's not where it should be. Pylons go in your base, or do they? Or do they? Let's see what it's going to be. Well, I guess it had to be. I don't even know what it's going to be. There's no cyber. It had to be Gateway. I don't even know why I said that. But it is going to be Gateway, of course. A little bit of aggro going on here in this game number 4 here. Cyber coming down as well. So I'm guessing it's going to be a Zealot coming out of here, followed by 2 Stalkers? Or actually, yeah, I would think so. There was no SCV Scout here from Coda. No Reaper either. Meaning he is not going to be scouting for this at all. Things could get very dicey very quickly here for our Ris3n Terran player. He is kind of sharking around, and he will find this with the 1st Marine. And he's getting a bunker up, so he could be okay here. Certainly glad that he's going to get this information. Will Coda be? So he's going to see this coming. No, he has to turn around, because that Stalker is going to come out, and it will kill this poor Mariner boy. Bunker is going to be up in time here for Coda, as it's going to be a proxied Stargate. This aggression is far from over. It's far from over here. Bunker is in a pretty good spot here. Can Bonkers sneak around with the Stalkers? Does not look like he's going to, or even bother trying. Wants to keep those units alive. Can't really blame him there. Is going to be a Nexus coming up behind this, so not a full committal. But again, this Stargate on the way is danger, danger, danger. Probably a very, well, actually, I was going to say an Oracle, but with these 2 shield batteries going down, probably a Void Ray. Probably a Void Ray. Stargate finishes up. There's the Void Ray, immediately getting chronoed. 3rd shield battery coming down as well. It is a Cyclone coming out here from Coda. That is one of the tools that he is going to want to defend this. But still, this could get very dicey for him very quickly. Bunker's going to poke back up at the ramp again. But again, Bunker there, not going to be able to be penetrated by a single Stalker alone. More joining though, and again, with these Void Rays, this is the type of build that can begin to snowball very, very quickly if you're not careful here. Coda is now aware of what's going on. The Cyclone going to get the lock on. before retreating. Needs to keep that alive. The Cyclone goes down for mainly just hit points. And again, with these shield batteries here, he can heal this. I don't think that these Marines can DPS through the shield battery, meaning a couple of them go down as well. Another Cyclone coming out now. But this was certainly not the start that Coda wanted here in game number 4. Now, focusing down the reactor here is Bonkers. Going for one of the depots as well. This will pretty heavily supply block the Terran. One Cyclone is out. He's getting a medevac as well. But with another Void Ray about to join the fray, needs to be able to do that pickup micro and really start to bank up units. A Viking coming in as well. We do have a base, a Twilight Council, and all that stuff coming up behind this. But these 3 Void Rays with all of these shield batteries should be able to retreat with relative impunity. Needs to be careful though. This barracks getting very low on HP, and it looks like it will not die, apparently. So much DPS getting thrown into this, but still so much energy on these shield batteries. Viking goes down, and again, the Void Rays don't die. They stand strong. More Cyclones coming out. But this is just massive cost efficiency here from our Protoss player, who has not lost a unit and has killed an awful lot. There's one, there's 2 lock-ons. This could be the moment where he gets caught a little bit out of position. Lock-ons dealing a lot of damage, but again, the shield battery is holding strong. That's more what Coda wants. That's a lot of energy taken off here. 3 Cyclones now, meaning if those all get locked onto a single unit, that is a lot of damage that'll get dished out very, very quickly here. He's going for, it looks like, the starport now. Will he get a Void Ray here? Nope, that stands strong. 2 more shield batteries coming up as well. Needs to be careful with this medevac. Might be using it as a little bit of a spotter here. Oh my goodness. Blink about to finish as well. A Forge, more gateways coming up. Bonkers is starting to prepare a little bit of a transition. But again, if this stronghold goes down, he does not have a ton at home yet to defend against that. Magfield is done, meaning these Cyclones are going to be even better against these units. Here come the lock-ons. A scan goes down. Still firing are these Cyclones. They're going to start clearing out the shield batteries as well that are actually now healing each other. Here comes Bonkers, so he's actually still taking the fight here. I guess he still has a lot of energy here. More barracks coming up in the background here for Coda, who's trying to maintain production here. And it looks like he might be going for some counter pressure while leaving these Cyclones at home to defend. Now, what is there at home? Still a lot of Stalkers here, and as these gateways finish up, he will probably have enough to ward this away, but again, it is going to cause us to have fighting on both fronts here. Recall, of course, still available here. I guess Coda could go for the backstab and maybe try and stim in and kill these 2 pylons. Does he have stim? He does have stim. Here we go, Templar Archives on the way as well. Here we go, Blink is done. He's going to stim in here. There's the super battery, going to get targeted down. We have some Zealots coming in now. He's going to start targeting down the Stalkers, but ultimately he is going to be shoved back here. Coda is going to have to get out of town. Templar Archives +1, both on the way here. Storm, going to be the follow-up. Bonkers is still hunting after that starport. Does not want to see it live. These batteries absolutely been the key to the level of cost efficiency that Bonkers has had in this game. As here we go. The stim comes in. Too much DPS for individual batteries to heal out as Coda is going to break this position. The Void Rays are just going to go into the main and start picking off SCVs. Coda going to come on in, and Hot Drop needs to be very, very careful that he does not lose those medevacs, though. How many Void Rays are going to die on the way out? It looks like he's going to get an additional one of them after I think he already got one. Workers active, very much in favor of our Protoss player right now, who's got a third base established. Storm almost done. And the timing for Coda to do a counterattack, maybe closing very, very quickly. Is Charge done? Charge is not done. Charge has not begun, which is pretty important here. As Blinkstalkers, as good as they are, don't really pack as much of the staying power of the Zealots. Looks like these two armies are going to cross each other, actually. He's going to try and pick off this third base. Will Coda turn around? No, he's going to go for it. This third base, I think, will get picked off, as it looks like Bonkers is going to try and go for the throat here, while Coda is doing the same thing across the map. Void Rays targeting down the base in the main. We have a full-on base trade scenario going on here. Where did that recall go to? It went to the third. Huge storms landing on the army of the Terran player, as I think that might just be too much here. He's not going to kill the army, but he's going to do enough. All of the bio severely weakened, most of it killed. Now, as he collapses down onto everything, this should be too much for our Terran player to hold. The Void Rays are going to go down, but there's still Zealots picking off SCVs. As everything is going to get cleared out. But when the dust settles, our Protoss player is doing magnificently in terms of economy here. Don't think he really wants to trade out these units. Actually, he's got more Stormy Boys coming in from behind. Coda needs to be very careful. There's one or two storms. Could deal with this largely Marine-based army very, very quickly. The Cyclone's going for the lock-on, picks off one of the Templar, but there are so many more. Charge just now starting. That might be a little bit of an oversight here. Storm largely whiffs. But that is not the only storm. There are many, many, many more. As this tank is trying to anchor the high ground, another storm lands to zone out these Marines. And with those going down, he's going to make Archons, and I just don't see there being enough here for Coda to hold on. Too many Zealots, too many Archons. The tide of Protoss will not be stopped. GG is called, as Bonkers is going to take the match, and with it, the series for NovaX. They will take a 3-1 victory and move on to the semifinals. GG's, well played all around. Thank you, everybody who participated here. Excuse me, it looks like Tickle Bandit did sub while the action was going on. Thank you very much, my friend. I hope you guys all enjoyed the match, and very much the best of luck to NovaX in the rest of this tournament. I've been Revolt. All of you have a wonderful evening.